That's a dark question. I realized that I was like, I don't want to say that. I was like, wait. I'm dropping that book quickly. Yeah, I'm DNFing. I'm not finishing the book. Hi, my name is Abaka Debrah. Everyone calls me Abs. I come from Ghana. I was born there, left when I was 2, and yeah, I've been living in London, Birmingham, Essex ever since. I am a writer and spoken word artist from Essex, and I am, I guess, the current winner of the Mercury Books New Writers Prize. The first book is Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I read this one a few years ago. I randomly saw a woman on the train holding it, and my nosy self went to ask her, what the heck is this book? It's a dystopian fiction book set in a world where the United States is absolutely divided, but this one young black woman thinks she can solve all of that and creates her own community. I found it interesting. I saw Parable of the Sower. I thought it was something to do with faith. It wasn't at all. Yeah, I've been rocking with it ever since, and I advise anyone who wants to get into reading properly to read this book, man. Stormbreaker by Alex Rider. A school teacher in year 10 told me about this book. I wasn't a bad child. I've never been on badness, but my teacher told me that if I don't start reading, life's not going to end well for me, literally. And I thought, listen, let me try something. She told me to start this book and write a book report on it. Did I read the book? No. Did I look up on YouTube a summary of the book? 100%. But based on that summary, I thought this is an alright book. So I read the whole series after I read the whole series. And I've just loved like books ever since. And that was when I was 15 or something like that. So yeah, this book really sparked my passion for reading ever since. Reading Mice of Men, reading like Inspector Calls is all good, but I never enjoyed reading until I like found books that I loved. So I think for me, finding joy in reading was more important than the lessons I got from the books themselves. The manual should read this book because I think it gets them in their feels. If you want a book to make you stop, think. One thing I love about dystopian fiction is you see a world that's supposed to look like a world that can never happen, but really we see certain traits that are happening today. So if you want a book that you see certain parts of what's happening in our world depicted in this book, even though it's fiction, firstly, this is great. And secondly, it will have you thinking a lot, have you thinking about, community, about race, about power. So my debut novel, Where Geezers Call Home, essentially it's about a boy who moves to Essex after race riots have ravaged the UK. And he moves to Essex and realizes basically all the white people in his area want him out and want to overthrow the government. It's inspired by the 2024 race riots. And like the main character, I moved to Essex just before that time. And there's one key story that happened where, my driving instructor told me, yo, don't go to the town centre on a Saturday, because we later found out there were riots happening. It kind of just shows the unease of what it means to be black during especially high times of division in the UK. A lot of the black experience is centred around London, but having a book that talks about, what it means to be black in Essex and so many different parts of the UK, where we all have different experiences, I think is so key. Being one of the only black families on your road, having to deal with the stereotypes. Someone who's not black hears about your experience for the first time and is the first to judge it. You say you're from Ghana and they say, I've got a friend who's Kenyan, and you're thinking, what the flip does it got to do with me? That's kind of the vibe I was going for with that book, and that's the story I want to tell. I think the man should read my book because the main character is a young black man. There are so many shared experiences we have as young black men. I think there's a certain social contract we all live by and we all have to tiptoe around, that many of us don't know how to operate. You will find home in that, and in that the main character understands that. I enjoy the process of writing, and I hope that enjoyment comes out in the book. That's a dark question. That's the finished masterpiece. That's a dark question. The finished masterpiece will be in the year of our Lord 2020 something. I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. It'll be coming out soon. I'm currently working on it. Looks like I'm gonna spending a lot of my time working on it, but it'll be out soon. Whenever soon means. It could be tomorrow, it could be 10 years time, man, but soon. If I don't like a book, I'm dropping that book quickly. Yeah, I'm DNFing, I'm not finishing the book. But I think just be willing to like chuck books, try different genres. My next goal is to read more romance. I've never really been someone for romance, but what's a romance saying? Why are people so kind of enthralled by this genre? So I think try different genres: romance, dystopian, crime. Go to your local library, go to like independent bookshops and ask them, what would you recommend? Like, I think that's what gets me reading. What motivates me, just finding new books and just being in touch with so many different genres. To be a good writer, you have to read as well. Just taking different things, or just really consuming art as well. So maybe if that's going to a gallery, reading another book, watching a show. And when you see other good pieces of art, it helps you want to make art. And from people seeing your art, they want to make art as well. So I think it's an ongoing process when you make good art. So I think that's the motivation behind it all. It helps us understand and deal with emotions, and I think a lot of us don't want to confront that a lot of the time. A lot of us don't want to just sit with that. I think it's good to not just read, but read fiction and have those habits. I think many of us, the reason why we don't read is some of us probably aren't that good at, let's say, reading aloud. You know, you might have been in English class and they asked you to read Of Mice and Men aloud, and you were embarrassed. So you don't like the feeling or the emotion that reading evokes. But if you get back into reading as an adult, books that you like, books that resonate with you, you are able to now create your own list, create your own stories, and understand the world through your own lens. So I think reading is good to, you know, evoke those emotions, but to kind of reverse the things that we saw when we were younger. Where can they find me? I think Instagram, Abaka Debrah, but mainly TikTok, man. TikTok, I'm running a mark on there, man. And yeah, my Substack as well. Where's my Substack? That's so crazy. I have a Substack at home, man. As I grow older, on my Substack, as I grow older, where I talk about what life means, being in my 20s, being a writer in my 20s, yeah, being young, black, and free in my 20s, man. Mandem, please, please, please get reading. Find a book you love and stick with it. And yeah, thank you so much. I've been Abaka, and that's Abaka, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.